how did it begin? Where was the germ of the idea? When did you meet, in fact? Because clearly the chemistry is something that it would be a shame if it wasn't exploited. So when did you actually meet?
We met on Twitter, like
Yeah,
modern weirdos.
2009 or 2010. I just wrote Sharon and said I'm a massive fan. Will you be my friend? Literally, and then we met and hit it off. And
we had a blind date in a hotel lobby in LA.
Yeah.
Which was really awkward. But we decided that we wanted to write something together. But it took a while.
Yeah, I was going to say, how quickly did this it seems a fairly simple idea, but how did it come about?
Well, we both, we're both married to other people, and we both have a couple of kids, and we wanted to do something that spoke to, so often sitcoms, a husband will be like, dude, my wife's driving me nuts. Or his wife will be like, man, and that's not real. Real is you spend half the time wanting to kill each other, and not in a cute way, but with a dagger, you want to eviscerate, and that's not even in a good relationship. And then the other half of the time, you're like near tears because you can't believe that this person would date to spend 5 minutes with you, let alone a lifetime. So we want to, marriage isn't boring. Sometimes it's a fucking nightmare, but it's not boring. So we wanted to capture that.
And also, we worked out the reason why most married people stay together is it's just such a pain in the arse to get divorced.
Totally.
It's too much work.
Yeah,
Split everything.
The parts of a relationship that aren't sexy are the glue, they get you through, because it would just be a nuisance to get divorced, and then by the time you arrange for it, you don't want to anymore sometimes, and so
we wanted to write about that, and we were going to start right in the middle of it, or when, we've got kids, because that's one of the only reasons why we stay together. And so we wanted to be right in the middle of that, but then we kind of, Phil and Fiona and Neris at Channel 4 kind of like the idea of seeing the genesis of it, and I quite like that too, because I think when you come to sitcoms and it's an American living in an Irish woman, you go, how did that happen?
Yeah.
That's just weird. And so, we wanted to show how it...
So we just enjoyed that discovery process so much, we thought we wanted to start one way, and we'll get to where we wanted to, or where we initially thought, but we realized that laying the groundwork, if we could do it in sort of a non-traditional manner, like fish out of water, who cares, especially in a shrinking world where, we speak the same language, so,
So that was the pilot, but that's also the first episode.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you've written the other 5?
Yes, we have,
And when you actually shoot them, when will we see it?
We shoot beginning of October, and you'll see it early in the year.
February-ish.
Yeah, first quarter.
Yeah.
So what about the practicalities of actually writing together? Presumably you weren't always in the same room.
No, it's really hard when you're not in the same room. We had to write it on Skype.
Yeah.
Which has its challenges.
I bet that this script for this was written in more physical locations than anything that's ever been written before. I mean, we wrote in various offices throughout LA and London, so much back and forth on Skype. I would write when she was asleep and she'd wake up to what I'd written and vice versa. So it was sort of like a sweatshop scenario.
Yeah.
Just round the clock. We were writing. Somebody was writing. And we'd write together and separately, which all worked great, but for the final push, we were together, which was superior.
Yeah, because we realized we hadn't read them through together. So we were like, yeah, these are going great. And we were writing them so quick because I was doing it during the day and he was doing it all night. And then we got together and we read them and we went, oh no, they don't really work properly. So we kind of had to start over a little bit.
So we might, moving forward, work in a more traditional manner. But this was written in a decidedly non-traditional manner.
Yeah.
Because it must be difficult if you're doing it by Skype, with the post-it notes. If only one has got a post-it note and the other person hasn't.
Yeah, but now you can use Scrivener. I don't know if you know Scrivener. So you have all your...
I mean, you can, but technology isn't really quite there. It's like, so it is a little bit, sometimes there would be calls where I'd be like, I hear 40% of what she's saying, I'm nodding, I'm sure it's a great idea.
It's a grown-up comedy is what it is, and what it isn't doing, doesn't appear to be doing, it's chasing the young demographic or the now fashionable old demographic. It seems to go somewhere down the middle, and it's only when watching it you realise how rare that is.
We're writing for a very specific demographic, which is unhappy middle-aged women.
Well, I'm developing a theory, which is that since we are so aggressively, eschewing what we think, we're not trying to tick boxes saying, look, might the public want, that maybe even younger people might watch this and say like, oh, they really don't care about me and my needs, and I like that. They're not bending over backwards. So I think that's why it'll be a hit with teens.
The teens. Well, Rob, we both really enjoyed watching Girls, for example, but Rob pointed out that if they all got hit by a bus tomorrow, it wouldn't matter, because they don't have children.
Exactly. I think if all of them got hit by a bus, but if one of them got hit by a bus, you'd be like, oh, that's too bad, but halfway through the next episode, you'd be like, oh, I forgot. Whereas if one of I died, that would in fact be a catastrophe.
The other thing, the other truth that it tells is that you can not like people that you're friends with at that particular time of life. Which I think is, again, it's done in quite a sort of believable and warm way, but it is still funny.
Yeah, I think you sort of, over the years, you kind of just introduced sort of friendship along the way, you know, break up with your friends, but some of them find a way of coming back.
And then as couples, you'll be like, you know, that person does not quite have it all, but I do like their spouse, you know, or something, so you kind of, you know, you round them up to their spouse's level, even though we all know.
Even though we're having an unfortunate concertina session here, if anyone's got a burning question they'd like to ask, then just put your hand up, because I'll just for John for the next minute and a half. But if somebody might be sitting on a question that they would really like to ask, and if they are, put their hand up. If not, and that's time's up. No, it's just about enough time for one more question. The sex scenes, which have got to be embarrassing for any actor. Yeah.
He was like, let's write it into the contract that my ass is shown.
Why is that a problem?
No, it's, they're, you know, I think we just sort of wanted to show real sex.
I mean, like, normally, you're right, like, obviously we're friends and work together, so those things can be weird, but so that's why we would just put pizza in a sex scene to make it, that would sort of take the tension out.
Yeah.
And the things that you say.
Also,
They pay attention.
And
And I like the way it's directed, Ben Taylor.
Oh, he's so great.
Because it's very naturalistic, and the rooms look dark, and they're supposed to be dark.
Yeah.
When you're writing it, of course, you can't know how it's going to come out. Was this kind of in your head, where it looked very kind of naturalistic?
yeah.
We wanted it to be that way.
It's actually, you know, you always have an idea of what you hope it's going to look like, and I think it actually turned out better than we hoped, because he's such a brilliant guy, he's such a great collaborator, and he's there from the beginning, right through the end, music, everything. He just has an incredible sort of overall vision for it, and he knew we just wanted to show what was on the page, but he's very good at finding the joke, and he sort of won't, you know, give up until he feels like he's got the best performance. And I think with some directors, it's kind of all about how it looks, and with him, it's very.
And the final question is, if one of you had to emigrate to the other's country to full-time, who would most likely to do it?
It's already happened.
You've done it.
As of this morning, I lived in Islington.
This morning?
Yeah, literally.
And that's why you grew the moustache?
Exactly.
I feel so guilty. I feel so guilty that he's left Santa Monica, the ocean, and he's now like some little street.
Oh, well, I was sad to leave there, but I'm happy to come here, so it's a net zero equation. Emotionally.
Well, it sounds like we set that up, and I had no idea, so that's a heartwarming ending to the very short interview. But I'm glad you all came, and I'm glad we all got a chance to see that. Look forward to the series next year. Thank you.